And you say, well, then what's the end of it? I say, I don't know what the end of it is, but I do know some other countries that had a nuclear weapons program and they disarmed. And that includes Libya, that includes South Africa. They had 6 nuclear weapons and they declared them to the International Atomic Energy Agency and had them dismantled. And Argentina had a nascent program. Those 3 countries, regime changes. And so suddenly, we don't worry about them anymore.
Yeah, I completely agree with you that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, right? I mean, like, for me, the discussion stops when they say death to America, right? Like, that right there, it's like, okay, man, like, you're taking it so far right there, because now I'm 100% confident that if you ever were to get your hands on one, that you would find a way to use it against us and trigger a situation that we don't need. Like, who benefits from a nuclear war? Really, no one.
Nobody, nobody.
Yeah.
It's that concept that Herman Kahn had in the 50s and 60s. MAD, MAD, mutually assured destruction. Only an insane person, a lunatic, would launch a nuclear war. There could be misread signals. The Russians at one time, the Soviets had something called the Dead Hand system. A great book by David Hoffman called the Dead Hand, where it was a semi-automated system where if it detected incoming US ICBMs, it would, without a human intervention, would automatically launch a counterstrike of Soviet missiles at the US. Now, just think about the hair trigger danger that would present. It could be a flock of something, and they would think it might be incoming US ICBMs, and without a human intervention, they would automatically launch weapons. Well, we found out about it, and there was a strongly worded exchange between the White House and the Kremlin dismantled that system. And I have the same fear that if we start using AI to automatically launch nuclear weapons without human intervention, we're running a very, very dangerous tightrope there. It would be terrible. You need somebody to finally say, no, wait a moment, I don't think we're not reading this right. Why would they launch a single missile or even a dozen missiles at us? No, you need humans in the equation.
Yeah. It's interesting. So I had someone on yesterday actually, and it wasn't live. I'm kind of frustrated with myself that it wasn't live because I forgot to click the button. But I started talking about the genie being out of the bottle with AI, right? And how we're accelerating at such a speed just in the public eye, right? In the public eye. When you start thinking about what the government may have, what DARPA may have, that no one's talking about yet, right? It's astronomical the difference that it could be. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when you start mixing AI with quantum computing, right, it really unlocks the world. It unlocks everything. There's actually no limit to what it could do. And we're in this weird space where, we're not just in like a quantum AI race, but I would venture to say that there's probably something like the Manhattan Project, like it was for the nuclear bomb. There's probably Manhattan projects in the world superpowers, developing this technology to develop the strongest AI, to develop the best quantum computer, right? And to make it all usable and tie it all together. Because if you have that, there's no encryption that you can't break. There's no intercept that you can't, have, right?
Right.
Like, they're doing it all.
And I've got that theme in my novel as well. If somebody were able to achieve cryptographically relevant quantum computing, that's what they call it, cryptographically relevant, meaning you could break within a matter of hours or minutes, you could break whatever encryption that the adversary has, which means that basically everything you own, you're totally naked. Everything, no more sensitive, all your sensitive communications are revealed and things. And even Vladimir Putin, must have been about 7, 8 years ago, he said, he who controls AI will control the world. He's right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't agree with Putin on much, but that one I would agree. And it's scary coming from the Kremlin.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anyone could actually control AI. If we're talking about AI at its, most mature, state, I don't know if anyone could really